Homestead peeps, welcome back to another edition of That Homestead Family. Today we are making bread and fresh bruschetta. So bread making has been a big part of our family. Over the years, I can remember my mother baking bread when I was a little girl, and oh, the smell of bread baking. And although the methods have changed since my mother made bread, I still love being a part of that tradition. So today we're going to actually make some homemade whole wheat bread, and this is a bread machine that's rather old, but it was given to me by my mom, and it's something that means a lot to me to be able to use this. It's probably looks a little antiquated compared to some of the bread machines that are out there today, but it is still working great and I love it. So we're gonna make some bread in it today. So there's only 6 ingredients in this recipe that we're using today. It is important that we use them in the order that I put them in. If you switch that up, it kind of messes up the ability to be able to mix the ingredients well, especially since we're using the bread machine. So we're gonna start with 1 1/3 cup of warm water, lukewarm water, and it needs to be warm. And I just ran my tap water for a little while. That's as warm as it needs to get, as hot as you can get it in the tap water. So we start with the lukewarm water, and then I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And the next thing is 1/4 cup of honey. And I prefer using raw, unfiltered honey. So that goes in. Let's use this to make sure we get it all in there. Honey gets messy. And then we're going to use 3 1/2 cups of I'm using whole wheat flour. You can use white flour. You can use, sometimes I use half whole wheat, half white flour, but I use the King Arthur flour. And so that goes in. And then I need 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. And I'm using the last of the salt that we got from Hawaii. And yes, it's black, but don't be afraid. It won't turn out like black bread. And then last, I'm using 1 1/2 teaspoons of active dry yeast. So the next thing I do is just close the lid, and I'm going to set this on white bread because there is no whole wheat bread setting. And I don't know what your bread machine looks like, but over here on the side I have a baking control, and my knob's actually missing, but I have it set where I want it to be set anyway. And I kind of like that there's no knob, because then it doesn't get changed in the transition of moving the machine around. But you can make your bread lighter or darker based on how you like it. But that's a baking control. So only thing I do is I have it set to white, and I'm going to hit start. And it's going to start kneading the bread, and it'll eventually get it all mixed up, and then we'll just start smelling the deliciousness pretty soon. So we're going to make some fresh bruschetta. I've gotten some basil out of the herb garden, and I have some tomatoes, and I have some garlic, and that's all we're going to put, and a little bit of olive oil on it after we cut it up. So basically I'm just going to, these tomatoes have, some of them have sort of split, and like I said, we're sort of coming to the end of our tomato harvest, but I wanted to take some of these, and I'm just going to cut them up as small as I can. And I'm gonna add the cilantro, not the cilantro, the basil and the garlic and olive oil. So I'm just going to sprinkle just a little bit of olive oil and mix it up. Mixing up the garlic and the olive oil into the tomatoes and the basil, and it's delicious. When the bread's done, this will be wonderful on some of that toasted wheat bread. So I had to show you guys this. I thought this is kind of, when I thought about it, I thought it was kind of funny. So my dad is like this gadget kind of guru. He's always, the whole family kind of knows, he just loves the gadgets, and you know, like the compass in the car, on the dash of the car, and he likes putting the whistles on the car to keep the deer away, or things like that. So I was just sitting here making supper and crumbling up the ground beef, and I was thinking, I love this tool. And then I got to thinking about, I must be a gadget person too. But this is my favorite thing to crumble up ground beef with. Let me show you. So I got this from one of those cooking parties, and it is just the best thing in the world when you have ground beef and you want to crumble it up real well. We're making spaghetti tonight, like I said. And this just does the job so good. So let me know in the comments if you guys have a favorite tool or favorite gadget that you use for whatever, cooking, gardening, whatever. So the whole wheat bread gives a denser texture than white wheat does, but it's really good for this. So I'm just going to cut this in half. and brown it just a little bit in the skillet. Go lay down, Bear. Go lay down. Just a little bit of browning on both sides. And then the bruschetta has been in the refrigerator and it's cold, and I love the cold bruschetta on a warm piece of toast. Delicious.
Hey guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what was your favorite part of the video, or if you have any questions. Goodbye.